Stage 1. The reason. You're 41. The debt is not the kind you can negotiate. It is the kind that arrives in person. Two men in a parking garage on a Wednesday evening who explain with calm specificity what happens if the number is not paid by a date that is closer than you can manage. You drive home. You sit in your kitchen. Your wife is at her sister's for the week. Your daughter is at college. The house is quiet in the way that houses are quiet when you are the only person in them, and the only sound is the silence of a life built carefully over 20 years that is about to be destroyed by decisions made in the previous 3. You open your laptop. You type 3 words into a search engine. Then, you delete them. Then, you type them again. You have been thinking about this for 6 weeks. Tonight, the thought wins. You read for 4 hours. By 3 a.m., you have the bones of a plan. You close the laptop. You go to bed. You do not sleep. You are already gone. Stage 2. The research. It takes 3 months. You do it carefully, in fragments, across different devices, in different locations, never building a searchable pattern. Most people who attempt this are caught not because the death was unconvincing, but because the life after was. They used an old email. They called someone they shouldn't have. They went somewhere familiar. You study the failures the way an engineer studies collapsed bridges. What you find in the successful ones is consistent. The ones who made it built the new life before they ended the old one. They did not improvise. They did not trust sentiment. They did not underestimate the size of the thing they were attempting. You are beginning to understand the size of it. It is larger than you thought. You proceed anyway. Stage 3. The identity. You need a person, not just a name. A person with documents that exist in systems, with a past that belongs to nobody currently living. You find a document specialist through an encrypted channel. The fee is $40,000, paid in cash over 11 weeks. What you receive is a passport, a driver's license, a social security number belonging to a man born in 1981 who died at age 3 in a state whose records were never digitized. A man the system believes is still alive. You learn his birth date, his birthplace, his parents' names. You practice his signature until it is yours. You are building a person from the outside in. This is the opposite of how people are usually built. Usually the inside comes first. Stage 4. The death. You choose water. Water takes things and doesn't always return them, and the absence of a body creates a legal process that takes time, and time is what you need. You choose a lake in Oregon, 300 miles from home. You leave your car at the bank with the door open, your jacket on the seat, your phone on the dashboard, powered off at 7:43 a.m. You leave footprints to the water's edge. You walk 3 miles through the tree line to a rental car booked under your new name, paid in cash. You drive south. You do not look in the rearview mirror. This is a discipline, not a metaphor. You cross the California border at 2 p.m. You stop for coffee. The woman behind the counter does not look at you. You are nobody to her. This is the first moment of your new life. It feels like nothing. You expected it to feel like something. You drink your coffee. You keep driving. Stage 5. The grief. You are in a motel in Redding on the night your wife finds out. You know the approximate time because you know her routine. You sit on the bed and you think about her face at the moment she understands. She will call your phone. She will call it again. She will call your office, your friend, the police. She will sit in the kitchen of the house you built together, and she will not sleep. You have done many things you are not proud of. The financial decisions, the debt, the cascade that made the parking garage inevitable. This is the thing you will carry longest, not the debt, not the fear. This specific Wednesday night in October. Grief does not require proximity. It travels without a body just fine. Stage 6. The new life. You're 42. You live in Tucson in a one-bedroom apartment at $780 a month. You work at an architectural firm as a draftsman, a step below what you were, deliberately. Your co-workers know you as a quiet man who goes home at 5 p.m. and doesn't come to Friday drinks, and who is, they have decided, probably going through something. They are correct. You live with the permanent low-grade hypervigilance of someone who has arranged their own disappearance and knows that a single recognition event can end it. You do not use social media. You do not Google yourself. You have a neighbor named Carl who is 67 and retired and who brings you tomatoes from his garden. Carl is the closest thing you have to a friend. You were not always a careful man. You are learning. Stage 7. The search. The insurance company that paid out the life policy has a special investigations unit whose function is finding people who are not as dead as they claimed. For $800,000, they are thorough and patient. What you didn't fully account for is your daughter. She is 21 and grieving and not entirely convinced. You found her private Instagram account by accident 3 months in. You check it every Wednesday on a library computer in violation of your own rules. The posts suggest she is asking questions. Specific ones. The kind that, directed at the right person, could produce an answer that unravels everything. You read the posts and feel something the plan had no category for. You close the browser. You delete the history. You drive home. Carl has left tomatoes on your doorstep. You pick them up. You go inside. You sit down. You think about your daughter for a very long time. Stage 8. The mistake. You make it in year 2. Your mother turns 74. You hold the date all day. By evening, you are not holding it as well as you were in the morning. You find a payphone outside a bar in a part of Tucson you don't usually go. You call her number. She answers. You say nothing. She says hello twice. Then she says your name. Not a question, a statement. You hang up. You tell yourself it was nothing. You are correct about one thing. She tells no one. What she does is sit by her phone for 3 evenings in case you call again. The insurance investigator monitoring her records notes an incoming call from a payphone in Tucson. He adds it to the file. He is patient. He has been doing this for 19 years. He will come back to the file. He always comes back. Stage 9. The closing. You're 44. The investigator knocks on a Thursday morning. He is alone. He has no authority to arrest you. What he has is a folder and 14 months of patience. He says your real name. The name you have not heard spoken aloud in 2 years. You say nothing. He says the payphone was helpful. He says your daughter's questions pointed in directions that pointed eventually here. You invite him in. You make coffee. You sit across from each other at the kitchen table and have the conversation that ends the life you built from the outside in. It takes 40 minutes. The coffee is bad. You apologize. He says it's fine. It is the most ordinary conversation you have had in 2 years. You had forgotten how much you missed ordinary. Stage 10. The return. The legal process takes 18 months. Insurance fraud, identity fraud, the debt, unpicked by investigators with archaeological patience. You plead. You cooperate. You provide information about the document specialist. The judge sentences you to 16 months. You serve 11. Your wife files for divorce. You sign without contest because contesting would require arguing that your wife should remain married to a man who left her to grieve alone in a kitchen in October, and you cannot construct that argument with a straight face. Your daughter visits once. 40 minutes. She asks one question. She asks if you thought about what it would do to her. You say yes. She asks why you did it anyway. You say you were more afraid of the parking garage than you were of what your death would cost her. That this is the most honest and most damning thing you know about yourself. She nods. She leaves. She visits again 3 months later. 2 hours. That is the whole story distilled. The 40 minutes becoming 2 hours. The people we disappear from are the only reason to come back. Stage 11. The after. You're 46. You live in Portland. You work under your real name. It feels like a shoe you outgrew and then grew back into. You have dinner with your daughter every 2 weeks. The dinners are not easy. They are real, which is better. You are building something with her that has no template. You are inventing it week by week. Carl from Tucson sent a card when you moved. You called him. The call lasted an hour. He knows everything and doesn't care and says the tomatoes are ready if you ever come back through. You understand now why people disappear. Not the debt version. The deeper version, where the life you built became something you were carrying rather than living, and the only exit you could imagine was total. You understand it. You know the cost. You are paying it every 2 weeks over dinner with a daughter who is deciding how much of her father she is willing to get back. You show up every 2 weeks. You are honest every 2 weeks. It is the least you can do. It is also exactly enough to build something on.